How did they get caught?
They were approached by the Soviet Union, who wanted to recruit them as spies, and they didn't want to do that. Harold refused the Soviet intelligence. These are documents that were found in the early 90s. One of the sons of one of the members of that group of Harold, a good friend of Harold, one of his sons, went to Moscow to look at the files, and he found a kind of furious Soviet KGB kind of descriptions of this weird guy Harold that doesn't want to be a proper Soviet spy and just says, yes, I'm going to give you information so you can hurt Hitler, but I'm not going to play your game. I'm not going to be one of you. So still, they did collaborate with the Soviet Union. They accepted a radio transmitter from the Soviet Union with which they were supposed to send military information via radio to Moscow. And they like struggle with the technology. The Russians give them like an apparatus only with like a Russian instruction, and it's like very difficult. They make mistakes. But what actually then gets them caught is the Russians at one point answer and send a message to them through the ether, and that message is coded, but the Nazis intercept that message and are able to decode it. And in the message, it gives the clear names of Haro and his address, which is a total like intelligence blunder, or maybe they just wanted to give them up and had their revenge because Stalin did crazy stuff like that, you know. So they suddenly know, the Gestapo knows, Haro Schulze-Boysen, the high-ranking officer in the Luftwaffe ministry, is giving military information to the Soviet Union, and apparently like he's meeting with all kinds of friends. So the Gestapo started observing the group for months. And the group at one point realizes that they've been basically found out, but then it's already too late. Then they capture quite a few of them, and quite a few get military trial, and receive the death penalty, and are also being executed. And Haro and Libertas are among them. And also that last chapter of their lives is very well documented. And it actually ends with that letter, you know, that I found in the beginning. That's the last thing that Haro does, is write that letter
to his father.
That's very interesting what happens with Libertas, because she gets in custody. The Gestapo asks one of their secretaries, Gertrude Breiter, to go in and pose as a friend to Libertas. And Libertas actually falls for it and starts telling that secretary, who pretends to be her friend and kind of helps her with certain things, tells her secrets, and that kind of breaks the neck of the group. It's a very tragic ending. So while my books always contain as much humor as possible, that is not a funny story, but it's a very dramatic story. Even though they had a lot of humor, obviously, I mean, they had parties to recruit people.